panel by panel. See you soon, Space Cowboy.
To the savage planets of Jakku, three guys came together and found the one piece that would lead to the greatest discovery from small beginnings.
Once and removed for awesomeness.
It's panel by panel here every Friday night
from 8 to 10,
giving you the latest and greatest, ranging from games, comics, and anime, and TV and movies. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready for an adventure for geeks and nerds alike.
Roll credits.
Hello, welcome back. You're listening to KSU Our Radio, Georgia's #1 online college radio station, streaming live on ksuradio.com, and this is Panel by Panel. It's DJ Mic Drop.
It's John Solo.
And Ezio went in the back room to take care of something real quick, but he'll be right back. We have the OG theme song playing.
I'm feeling this. I kind of missed this one.
Yeah, I didn't know we had that playing, and no wonder it's 14 seconds long. That's the reason why we don't have it playing anymore. We're going to keep on rolling through with this for a bit, so I'm just going to keep on dragging this through.
We're just a little bit out of the loop tonight, folks.
Just a little
bit behind. We've been running around a bit before the show, but we're still here. We're still ready to give you all the hardcore nerdy news that you desire. Oh, look, and who's back?
You know what else is back? The actual bed music.
Hey!
So let's go ahead and play that. Okay. Yeah, we accidentally brought in the old bed music, Ezio. But, it's back. We got it back.
We'll just say that we did it on purpose as a little bit of nostalgia to get us ready for Ready Player One when it comes out, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Wow.
Welcome back to the gang, Ezio.
Oh, am I on? I can't even tell because the headphones are messing with me today.
Put it in the other jack area, number one.
Try this. Jack one.
But while he's figuring that out, we do have a couple of gaming news for you and whatnot. I think we do have Jay Pleasure in the house. He'll be in relatively shortly. One of the things we were talking to him about last week was the Sea of Thieves beta, and it's going to be coming back yet again this weekend. Now, what they're saying right now is that it's going to be coming on Friday, March 2nd, so it's already today, and it's going to end Sunday, March 4th at 2 a.m. So keep in mind, though, development Rare intends this test to be a real stress test for the game. Not only will the studio be attempting to put Sea of Thieves through its paces, it will actually be throwing wrenches or scabbards? I don't know what they're saying. I'm reading this from GameSpot. But into the works intentionally. So according to the announcement, we'll also purposely be stressing our services by throttling performance at certain times, testing the game in different data centers around the world, and stimulating deliberate outages. So, if something goes wrong, then just know that it's most likely on purpose. I don't want to say that it's automatically on purpose in case they're just trying to throw aside some blame if something goes wrong. But just expect that some things will probably occur during this beta.
I'm happy that they're being so intensive about the testing, too, because it gives me high hopes for the stability and the quality of the game when it actually comes out.
Absolutely. I wish more games would do that because we're so used to other games being thrown out there. And, of course, like the day it comes out, looks like we have a couple of problems still happening. So.
Let us drop a 400 gigabyte patch on your ass. But
I mean, at least the patches are free, but still,
that's
it's
true.
just like...
That's true. I shouldn't complain about free updates, I suppose.
Oh, God. Can you imagine how the world eventually getting bad to where updates cost an additional $2 to $5?
You're going to give EA ideas. Stop.
Oh, God. We're already having to, go through this whole FCC crap, but... Oh, well.
We're still here.
We have a couple, since it's beginning of the month, that means we have news for all the free games that you'll be getting for PS4. And it's a good lineup this time around. So for PS4, you're going to be able to play Bloodborne for free.
Nice.
You're going to be able to play Ratchet and Clank for free, which I believe is the newer Ratchet and Clank that came out, not just the older ones. But either way, the game's really good. Mighty Number 9, which I'm not familiar with. Claire Extended Cut, and Bombing Busters.
Oh, Mighty Number 9. By the way, hi, it's DJ Ezio finally speaking of reasonable and somewhat normal fashion, because I had to switch headphones all entirely, and I gave up on the technological, quote-unquote, advancements we have at this school. But nonetheless, yes, Mighty Number 9 is basically like the semi-reject version of of Mega Man.
I'm looking at a picture right now. You're absolutely right.
I told you, it's just weird. But in other facts, do we finally have him on air? I think we do. He's getting himself prepped up. But the man who gave us a reason to pledge allegiance to the station, the man who fixed all our technology once upon a time, the man who was once upon a time given so many nicknames that it got to a point that his libertarian status might just be too much. He's also known as the Ron Swanson of the station still to this day, Jake Pledger. Or do you even have a DJ named Jake?
I don't know. Am I hot? Am I on air?
Yeah. You're on.
Oh, man,
he said, "Am I?"
You are both, my friend.
He's both hot and he's on air.
Well, other than the what time I called in last week?
Yeah, but now you're physically here.
Here,
We
this
read-
place is busted. What happened since I got?
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
A lot's happened under mysterious circumstances. throughout.
Mysterious circumstances. That's what we're gonna call
Okay,
it.
one of them was you.
Wait, what did I do?
I don't know.
I didn't do anything.
I felt
No,
like
that was the production mic you're talking about, not
Oh,
this.
yeah,
yeah.
I broke that mic in there.
Now these little so the shock mount for the mics that we're using, the little rubber pieces that come, I have to email this company because they break if you cough on them too hard.
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah.
snap. And we've gone through I don't know how many packs. We're letting people peek behind the curtain. This is not what this show's about.
You're the one who started talking about it. Really, I was just like, oh,
You
okay,
laugh,
I
but
guess
we
we're
have
gonna do
we have
that.
technical difficulties on panel on a semi-regular basis, so this is just par for the course.
Yeah, it really is.
It's okay. So what are we waiting? Y'all wasn't waiting on me, were you?
No,
No. We've just
we
been
already
going through some of
started.
the gaming
We were
news
just talking
and
about
whatnot.
how the Reject Mighty Number 9 was, and it's basically Mega Man,
I've not
except
seen that.
it looks like it's like what if it happened?
seen
It, like
the
how they rebooted Powerpuff Girls, and there's that weird Reject Powerpuff Girl who's there. It was kind of like that.
I mean, they're not
yeah.
really doing much with Mega Man anyway.
Yeah, they added a
So,
fourth
yeah.
Powerpuff Girl. Not like the weird one that they accidentally built one time, but like a legit fourth
and not
Powerpuff Girl.
Princess.
Yeah. Was that her name?
I think
Very
so.
Yeah.
confused. Why'd they bring back Powerpuff Girls? I thought that ended in like 2003.
You would
Yeah.
think so.
It actually ended in 2006,
Why do
if
they
I
do this?
recall.
Why don't they just make new intellectual property? Why do they have to continually
That's what
reboot
comic
reboot
fans
things?
say all the time. And then, like,
Then
when
they get
they
mad when you reboot, or they put out something new. They're like, "That doesn't feel like the old Power Rangers," or blah blah blah. Give us something new. All right, here's the same thing, but re-nuance.
And then it's, we changed a few things for The Last Jedi. You are the devil!
Yeah. And then if you do get like a completely new character that nobody knows anything about, it's just like, well, we can't relate to this person, so we're not gonna buy their series or anything. So
I
it's
can't
just-
relate, man.
It just cycles through all the time. So people wonder why like they make the 30-second Spider-Man or whatever. It's just because like they already know the name attached with it's gonna get the money.
By the way, that crap I just did is the reason that I broke the production mic in the other room. Since we're doing a behind-the-scenes special of panel by panel tonight.
Yep.
I'm sorry. All right.
I mean,
These are things that I see when I come back.
in other news, though, Mike.
Okay.
Back to you, Mike.
So apparently the new Battlefield is going to go back to World War II. Surprise, surprise! Who would have seen that
Oh,
coming?
I
right?
can't even
Wait, wasn't
imagine.
the last one?
No, it was World War One.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
First.
Spoil it for the new players.
You know, if you love World War One games, there's a great one called Verdun. I think it's called
What?
online PC game.
Really?
Huh.
Verdun, yeah, it's a World War One game. Let me double check that and get back with you.
Yeah, so from like GameSpot, they're saying the report credits this information as sources familiar with EA's plans. The game is coming from Battlefield series developer DICE. And according to the report, Battlefield 5 was at one time known intentionally or internally that at EA Battlefield 2 before changing names. So apparently, like they're going to be going back to World War II. And of course, they mentioned at the end of the article, yeah, there's going to be loot boxes. I'm just like, okay, cool. So that's just going to be another loot box thing. Which there's nothing inherently wrong with loot boxes. It's just like, has gaming like always been like, has the industry always been so predictable in terms of what they're going to do? Like, I don't know, because again, like, oh, here we go back to World War II. Oh yeah, Call of Duty went back to World War II too. I wonder what the correlation is. Like,
The correlation is the first one made a lot of money.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
They're just gonna skip right over the 30s there. I want a Weimar Republic Call of Duty game.
Why?
A little history joke for you guys.
Fight for Otto von Bismarck.
That would be some awkward times, man.
You know what? They haven't been doing a lot of Civil War type games or anything like that. But I mean,
What
like,
would
it's
that
just like
be?
there's not only like
Take a shot, reload. I'll just a second.
It could be like
10
it
seconds.
could be a pretty cool strategy thing though. Like you actually have to get all the players to like line up and actually take their shots and
Can you imagine
fire the artillery.
The time.
getting players to line up.
I think it'd be hilarious.
It would never get done.
get in
It would never get
formation.
done. It'd be a total travesty, but it'd be great.
I mean, I actually did play a game at like my neighbor's house when I was a kid that was like actually like Civil War settings, like, and it wasn't like it's exactly like you were saying. Like, it took a long time to reload and stuff, so it's just like this is kind of interesting, but at the same time, like really slow.
Just make a legit Revolutionary War game.
Yeah, I mean, like, it'd be good to see them at least experiment with it, like,
Yeah.
or like do I don't know. I don't want to say like an Egyptian times, like kind of like whole old style fighting game.
Versus-
Like biblical times fighting games or whatever. Instead of a nuke drop, it's like calling God to just like totally send
Have an actual phalanx marching forward. Link shields.
It's literally just like the end of the world, pillars of fire going down, and all, and that's how you win.
An actual like straight up apocalypse game. Now that'd be fun. Can you imagine like Christian Apocalypse, the video game?
I mean, John, I feel like you would fit well into that.
Save
film.
up enough
It would
points and you
be
can play as the
interesting,
White
at least.
Horseman.
I would watch if John was in it. 'Cause John being in a post-apocalyptic society.
Not post-apocalyptic.
Oh, just
apocalyptic. Like
oh,
the straight up
yeah.
apocalypse.
So you
We're
and
gonna live
Katie
the
trying to
story from the
thrive
book
through.
Jesus Freak.
I'm rereading Good Omens now, so that's probably why it's in my head.
Yeah. That's
you know, that's a
those
TV.
books, right? That talks about post-apocalyptic, like post-resurrection.
Yeah, it's like kind of a parody almost.
They're
of
about
the
to make a
Book of
TV
Revelation.
series about that.
okay.
Yeah, to
It's
follow
like-
up
I
after.
read those books when I was a kid.
Well, there's just one. There's Good Omens just by itself. That's Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. The other ones, I'm not sure. Which ones were you talking about?
I don't know. There was some book series that was basically these people got left behind. I think it was actually Left Behind.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Wasn't there a
there
film
was
called
a-
Left Behind too?
there was
I think
a
they did try
I
one.
feel like there was one.
Resurrection.
Yeah.
And there were people that were left over.
Huh.
It was I think it was either a book series or a television series.
Interesting.
That followed that. But yeah, it was in the same vein.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind like a game where they like at least attempted to do like end times kind
Something
of stuff. or whatever.
different, yeah.
At least that way, like at least the campaign would be interesting with that. I don't know how good the multiplayer would be implemented, but I mean it'd be different from like all the other cookie cutter stuff.
Yeah, I can live with that.
So like there's this article of like 5 Wii U games that deserve a second chance from like GameSpot, and they were talking because like apparently this is the age where you reboot a lot of stuff and all that, and they're talking about since Nintendo Switch has been doing really well in terms of how everything is implemented, there are a couple of games they could throw back on from Wii U because why not? This is what the new age does anyway, because we have like 6 versions of Skyrim floating around and nobody complains about it. So I'm gonna like move on before I like go into my soapbox.
No one except
about
for
that.
you complains about the 6 copies of Skyrim.
It's all,
lying
it's,
around.
yeah, I was gonna say it's only.
I was
it's
playing
only-
Skyrim before I came over here. Full confession.
But like these are like the 5 things they chose from Wii U, and like so number 1 was Captain Toad Treasure Trackers, which I
Yes.
never heard about. I forgot about that.
Yes.
They put Wind Waker HD on, which I wouldn't have a problem with. That would be
I would love to play.
that would be
through Wind
really
Waker
good
again.
on there. I just thought that even on the Wii U it had a really good run. So I mean, but
I wish I hope they port it to the Switch. 'Cause I really want to
They
play
probably
Yeah.
will
I think that's
soon.
what they're.
feel
I
like
think
it's
that's what
coming.
they're talking about. Yeah,
That's what
5
they're talking
Wii U
about,
games to port over.
games that they should port over to the Switch. Number 3, they had Super Mario 3D World. I'm okay with that.
I'm good.
Wonderful 101. That was an okay game. I mean, like, it's not an absolute need for me, really, to have that on Switch. And, of course, they had Super Mario Maker, number 5, which absolutely, yes, port that onto the Switch.
Shout out to this comment. He says, "That's all very nice, but I bet you can't come up with 5 games that shouldn't be ported from Wii U to Switch. That's right. Port them all, and let's all forget that the Wii U ever existed."
I mean, they
I can
could
think
do
of
that if
one-
they wanted
I can
to.
think of one game that should not be ported to the Switch that was a Wii U game.
What?
Zombie U.
I was thinking about that. I was just like, yeah,
It's
that
garbage.
was best off like not existing. I mean, they tried at least. It was like that one game that was just like, we have to have at least one rated M game that's original, guys, so we can get these people on board.
Listen, I'm not
Zombies.
cynical, okay? I appreciate the developers and what they were trying to do because they were trying to utilize the Wii U pad in an exciting manner, but it was garbage.
Failed experiments.
Awful.
Oh, that was so lighthearted. I love it.
Out of all like the Mario Karts that they brought back, though, why haven't they brought back Double Dash?
I know, that's
want
my
that.
favorite one.
Man, don't get me started.
Thank you, Tech Director Alex over there, also for that amen. That made a lot of sense.
Like,
It's so great. It's the best. I think it's the best Mario Kart.
out of
Yeah,
all
honestly.
the reboots and like things that they brought back, like they still haven't done that one. That's like one of our favorites.
With the new Mario Tennis game?
Are they?
For
Have they?
Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Huh. I didn't even know they were doing that again. That's actually interesting.
Because as much flack as I give Nintendo for like constantly churning out Mario stuff for like 60% of their material, like they're still really good games.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
Look, I
money.
think they know that they are like, all right, we have to have a new, like a Mario game. Like after like every 2 years, they're like, let's put out a new one. We gotta like up the ante, you know. And I feel like after Odyssey being what it is, it was fun.
I
It
feel
was
like
a
it's
lot of
Japanese thing because when we look at Final Fantasy, there's like 23 different Final Fantasies, a million different Mario games. There were a whole bunch of Metal Gear Solids, and once I feel like when you find a franchise that does well and people enjoy, you want to develop that, right? Into a series. So I think maybe that's the mindset they go into it with. It's like, well, he's a beloved character, Mario.
fun. I
Beloved
mean,
character. Let's keep it going. It's not
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
like
that's
an
one thing I
empire,
know
make us
that.
filthy rich.
Yes, exactly. Because that's how I look at Square Enix, is who of course are the developers of the Final Fantasy franchise. Is that Square has never been, indeed, Square is just insane, but they are incredible world builders. Like they managed to come up with a lot within a short span of time. And you'll just think, oh, wait, when did they come up with this? And they're like, oh, this was like a 2-year development
And
program.
even
You're like, what?
Even the poor Final Fantasies are still great games, too.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. Like, I don't know what's the weakest one, but I do know, for me, when I first saw 10, because that was the first one I ever played, I was just like, that's a whole world they built into this game.
Is Nier Automata Square Enix?
I think it is.
I want to say it is. I know Third Birthday is one of them.
Oh, it's only published by them.
Is
Oh,
it
it's only
published?
published,
Oh,
okay.
They have a lot of public. Yeah, they do have a lot of published
Who made
like
Nier
words.
Automata?
We can show.
I
We
just,
have
a great game.
technology.
I was like, I'm on Wikipedia right now.
Nier Automata was developed by Platinum Games.
Oh, okay.
Platinum.
Published by
Oh.
Square Enix. Don't
Okay.
they have Crystal Dynamics, too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Platinum did Bayonetta and a few other ones.
Yeah.
In Wonderful 101, but we're
Yeah.
Pretty
No,
much.
they have Crystal Dynamics, too.
I just think
Right?
it's.
They're the new Tomb Raider games, right?
I just think it's interesting with like how some of the other game companies and like publishers, they're different dynamics when it comes to who they're going to churn out games for and all that. Like Nintendo, they have no problem just like, we're going to keep on throwing out Mario games. It's fine because it's working. With Xbox, when they tried with Halo and all the other franchises, like they have the want to like keep on churning the games out, but eventually like by game number 4 or 5 it just starts
I wish
trailing
they'd
off.
have left the Halo series at 4 and just been done. Because 4 was fine, the story was great, the multiplayer was okay.
Yeah.
Then 5.
Old words from John Nelson over here.
No, I've been playing. I've probably said this a million times on the show, but I've been playing Halo games since I was about 11. I think is when Combat Evolved came out.
You said,
Yeah.
wait, 11.
Because I would have been like 2003. No, I would have been
Yes.
even younger.
You would have
than
been
that.
10.
Yeah,
And
Because
like
I would have been 11.
I would have been 9 or 10. But anyway, yeah, I've been playing them my entire life, and I was fine with 4. 5 is just.
yeah, once you get to like game number 4 or 5, it gets difficult. And like the thing is, like with PlayStation, like old PlayStation games, yeah, like they kept on churning out a few like Crash and all that, and it was fine. Now, like they found this formula where like they find these really good gym type games, and they never really push past 3. And there's a couple where I'm just like, I really want them to like, please don't stop after this amount.
That's what made Naughty Dog smart, and I think that's
Yeah.
what they were doing with like how Uncharted when they were building up that. Again, another group that's great at world building. Which is weird because that's not at all that they were known for in the beginning.
They survived that like because they hit game number 5, and then it was like
Yeah.
it was okay. But like, you know, with The Last of Us and all that, they're just like, yeah, we're probably not going to do more than like 2 and all that. We didn't even know if we were going to get 2.
Yeah, they just said, you know what, for the sake of humanity, let's just put out.
And the world building was so good, it was just like, they can do as many as they want, but they just choose not to, and it's
I respect
infuriating.
that. They want the quality over the quantity.
Yeah.
I feel like they
And
went into making Last of Us. They said we have a story to tell. We're going to tell it, and then that's going to be it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like from their response and their not necessarily inability, but I guess pushback on making a second Joel and I've already forgot her name. What's her name?
Ellie.
Yeah.
A second Joel and Ellie story. That's what I feel like. They went into it and said, we have a story, we're going to tell it, and that's going to be it.
Yeah. Some people wanted the story between like Joel and his brother or something like that, with like what happened between the years, because apparently there's a lot of untold stories that we don't know about. Like we have Joel talking to his brother, like, "Come on, you owe me after some of the things I did for you throughout those whole years." It's just like, I wonder where they're gonna go with that.
Make a book.
And like they instead they like did the whole DLC between what happened with Ellie and her friend and all that ended up dying, which it was that was an okay-ish story. Like it wasn't great, but it was also a nice addition, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like it's interesting how some gaming companies like they can either choose to push forward or they can just kind of go with whatever they
Ken
feel like is
Levine's a
good.
great example too. After BioShock Infinite, he was like, "Nope, we're done. If 2K makes more BioShock games, that's their thing. But I am not. I'm done." So it is what it is.
That's a fair
see.
deal.
Overwatch has a new character, Bridget or Brigitte. I don't know how like the
I think
pronunciation
it's like
goes.
Vegeta. I think it's Brigitte or
Yeah.
Brigitte. Brigitte. Just think Vegeta.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I'm going to call it Bridget.
See, it wasn't just me. I was just like, Brigida. Just say Bridget. Like,
Bruh.
how do you spell your
it's
name?
Swedish, okay? It's Swedish, bro. Okay.
Oh,
Bruh.
God.
Brigida.
Yeah.
Brigitte, Brigitte.
Now I'm gonna run into
Brigida,
some like
Bridget
some young
Jones.
woman in my world. I don't like how I said that.
Brigida.
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 No, that's too close to another word that we don't want to associate on air. Because I feel like that'd be like
Brigida. That's your name.
Brigida. That sounds like a really country version. Like
Brigitte?
that's like some girl you meet in the 1800s West. Like, hey girl, how you doing over here? What's your name? Brigida? Okay,
I love how your
love
1800s
country
West
accent.
is like your 1800s West is like the 2010 Lower Alabama.
That's
As
racist.
somebody from the country, I take offense to that.
Look, first of all, Jake, you have obviously more eloquence than
Our culture
some.
is not a joke, Amara.
You got to have that more old-fashioned Southern accent, like you hear like older Southern guys have.
What the?
I'm not sure I can actually do it right.
Why is everybody looking at me?
Yeah, I didn't even look at you. I was just like,
No, there's
John.
a certain accent that older Southern guys have, and it's really hard to
I
imitate.
mean, what do you want me to say?
It's like you know Boss Hogg from the Dukes of Hazzard. It's like that sort of accent.
Oh, you're talking about me being like accent ritual.
But it's the same accent.
See, I never
Boss.
associate Jake like that. When I think Jake, I think, oh, who
wasn't
is he?
comparing
He is like
Jake
Daryl from The Walking Dead. That's as far as I get. For you, you're like, oh, he's Boss
Boss
Hog.
Hogg.
I wasn't
was like,
comparing him to
he's a
Boss Hogg. I was
newcomer.
trying to give you an example of the accent that I was talking
Jake
about.
Pledger's out there doing it again. Law can't catch him.
Oh, there go them Dukes of Hazzard boys.
John.
We lost track of what
Anyway,
we were talking about.
Brigida.
I can't even say it anymore.
Anyway, Bridget, the new
Girl with the
character.
name B.
We're just gonna go ahead and say Bridget. Bridget, the new character in Overwatch, is Torbjorn's daughter, to be confirmed, I think.
Huh.
Yes,
She pretty much like made her own gadgets and stuff like that, and she's a support / kind of sort of tank, but not really. I mean,
she's like a third tank, 2/3 support.
if you I'm just gonna say, if you make her as your only tank in your team, you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
basically.
but I'm super excited. She looks like so much fun to play.
Yeah, she does, and like she has this whole like new mace as a
Yeah.
weapon and all that she can swing around. I think her main people say she's a healer. To me, she looks like a guy that just throws out shields. So
She's
kind of a healer, but
she
not
can
really.
heal. Like her healing ability will heal, and then if it goes over your maximum health, it's armor.
Okay.
And her ultimate functions a little bit like Lucio's.
yeah,
ultimate.
that's exactly what
yeah.
they compare it to.
Yeah.
What's her passive?
What is her passive?
Does he have a passive?
She does have
I
a
don't know.
passive, and it's a pretty. Hold on, I'll look it up for you. It's a pretty
Yeah,
good
'cause I
passive.
don't
actually.
remember. But I mean, I've watched gameplay of her, and you know, this really is going to shift the meta a little bit, especially in competitive play and all that. I don't know like who you'll kind of insert her with when it comes to finding a good balance between like tanks and supports and stuff like that. but she really does have like a good offensive
Oh, yeah,
mechanic
that's
to where
right.
she can fend off a lot of offensive characters. She doesn't die easily, but if you don't have your shield, of course, like you're gonna die. But I'm looking forward to playing as her. I still
too.
haven't found the time to really like mess around with her yet. I've only like probably been a practice session. But otherwise, like, yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how she's going to really fan out.
Jake and I just looked up her passive. It's called Inspire, and it says it heals allies as she takes damage. A single swing of her flail heals Brigitte and nearby allies for 80 health over approximately 5 seconds. So basically, almost sort of like how Moira has to drain health to heal, but she does it passively, and probably with a lot less power.
That's gonna get patched.
It'll probably get patched,
Sure.
but they always have to nerf new heroes when they bring them out, so...
Yeah. It's kind
Still
of
haven't
like
nerfed Moira.
how right now with the Dragon Ball Xenoverse, they're kind of like throwing in a lot of the new characters, and I'm like, yeah, these guys are going to be like over-exhilarating, like with unusual nerf powers.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that Final Fantasy Dissidia NT was having the same problem with some of their characters.
Yeah.
Way too powerful.
I saw some gameplay on it, and I was just like, I had a very mic drop and I was like, I usually don't have those, so that says a lot.
Speaking of OP characters, Sword Art Online's Fatal Bullet game is coming out.
He's just taking shots at Sword Art Online. It's one of his favorite pastimes.
Oh,
No.
It was here's the thing. I really liked the potential of Sword Art Online. The first season, the first half of the first season was awesome. But when my first concerns came through when like they beat the first boss, and then the next episode afterwards, just like, yeah, we're on floor number 20. I'm just like, whoa, hold on a second. Why are we rushing through this? This is a really good concept.
Yeah.
And of course, like you get the kind of rushed ending where the guy just reveals himself. It's like, yeah, I'm actually the villain all along. I'm just like, okay, cool. So this is how it's gonna end. And then yeah, we're not even gonna talk about the second half of season 1 because that was just. I forgot what it's like Alfheim Online or whatever.
It's the one I usually always forget about for some odd reason in my mind, and it's because his sister was basically crushing on him, who was actually his cousin, so it's still incest.
Have you seen the abridged of Sword Art Online?
I have not.
They are fixing the heck out of it. Like it's like they made Sugo savage as hell, and it's great. I like her character dynamic there. But like the actual video game, like, I think they already had like an actual Sword Art Online video game. One was like VR, and then another was like a straight up video game. Now they're having one called Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, and it's based on Gun Gale Online, which is like from Sword Art Online 2. And this one kind of actually already looks like a competent game. Like they have like all these kind of different guns you can buy. I think it's not RPG, but like at the same time,
it's like some of it's like weird shooters because I saw the game and I was like, okay,
Is it like a loot and shoot kind of deal?
somewhat
Is
like
it a dungeon crawler?
I would say it's like a weird mix of that, and then it's so weird how to describe it. It's like if Call of Duty had third person and it was more like
Is it a
RPG.
roguelike?
I wouldn't relate it to Call of Duty at all.
Fine, whatever other
Is it
shooter
RPG?
game there is.
Like
It
Borderlands
sounds
or
like-
something like that, kind of.
Yeah, it
guess,
sounds
yeah.
like kind of a loot and shoot RPG sort of
Yeah.
deal. Yeah.
So it's.
I mean,
it's
that's
kinda
how
like
the
that.
game, like when you're watching the anime, is also.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
that's
And
how
like,
they built
of
it.
course, like the biggest thing people are looking forward to, are, like the multiplayer. Like I've watched like 4v4 gameplay and all that, which it looks okay. It doesn't look like super organized or anything like that, but it's an okay-ish game. Like I might like take a look at it. I don't know if I'm gonna spend like $60 on it, but
I feel like I should probably watch the second season before I play that game.
the
but-
second season was actually pretty good.
It was pretty good. It was just kind of weird, I think, but it's not bad. Like it's not like what happened with the first season. Then you're just like, what the hell did I just watch? But then you're like happy to be through with it. The second season actually is just a little bit. More, it raises a few stakes and a little bit more intense. But it's interesting. That's one way I'll go about it. Like this won't be a spoiler too much. But the girl who's one of the leads in this show
Dies
or
in the end. Sorry.
he was waiting for that. But she's actually more of a lead than Kirito is in the actual show, which is actually interesting. It was like they took basically the camera off of Kirito because we've been following him for so much, and they're like, by the way, this is this girl. This is what she does. And
Okay.
it was kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
she has an actual story behind her. Which now that I think about it, like when we had an introduction to Asuna, like we didn't have a story behind her.
No,
what
Asuna
she
was
does.
just like, hey, my name's Asuna.
and I can do really cool stuff.
She was still a much.
That was it. Like,
she
you
was
had
still a
nothing.
much cooler character than Kirito was, though.
I mean, duh.
I liked her personality a lot more. But
Like they look, both English and Japanese adaptations showed that he was literally just there, but we had to follow him because he was the story. So it was like, okay, why are you here? Like, he's here under like kind of. I mean, she was there kind of just to be like there also, but he was there under like stupid reasons. And I was like, you're just a dumb boy. You dumb boy.
dumb boy.
I had nothing else to
Go with
add.
that? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go anywhere else with this. But whatever.
We've discussed Sword Art Online many times on the show, so
This
we
is
should
true.
we should probably move on.
I'm done.
Now, before I get to this next topic, I'm just gonna do like the whole. I guess what was it? The warnings or whatever. The
These views do not represent the views of our radio.
yeah, that basically
You should have
that.
a liner
Oh.
for that.
We do. It was Havilla's.
Yeah,
If we can find
hobbies
that.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Did we just
Just
type in her
do-
name? Like,
No, it's not. It's not under her name. It's
What do we
just.
look for?
What was it?
I think it's just disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Yeah, that's a disclaimer.
Once again, we are live editing our playlist here right on the show,
Isn't
continuing with
that's
our
pretty
theme
normal
of
for
background.
us. That's pretty normal.
Yeah,
On these programs are those of the hosts and participants and are not intended to
What is happening?
not necessarily reflect
There can't
the
be any
opinions
dead air.
of
This is
our
radio.
Jigsaw State University or the Georgia Board of Regents.
they're playing.
Sorry, you couldn't hear it just because you didn't have headphones, but it was a disclaimer just playing on there.
Sorry.
But
That's why you always wear headphones.
we're not that bad.
It's all right.
Like,
did
I
you
love
know?
it. We should have met him.
Because I
Jake
knew what they
after
were
that.
doing.
Oh.
'Cause we've had to do it before.
So the reason why I had to play the disclaimer is because anything that has Trump in it, of course, is probably going to have a disclaimer for it.
Let's talk about
He's
this. This will be
going-
fun.
So so there's been like
Most popular
a video of
president
him
ever.
saying that like he's going to be talking to the video game industry, which I don't get. Like that, I think that's like a really vague term. Which is like, yeah,
How do
he
you
plans
talk to
on
all of them?
talking to the video game industry. I was like, okay, but there are many different industry
gonna
people
do?
that you can talk to. So it's just like
You're gonna show up to E3 like, hold up, listen here to my ideas.
You joke, but I wouldn't even be that surprised.
I mean, if he shows up to E3,
years old, are you surprised?
what? That he's senile? Yeah.
Well, yeah, he basically just has all the other 70-year-old Republicans whispering in his ear all the time.
Yeah, apparently he's
Democrats
gonna.
were saying this back in the late '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
California tried to pass a law about this back in the day. I think we talked about this, you and me, Mike Drop, last show.
Yeah, like I don't care about which party it is. Like I've always been the kind of thing where it's just like if you're going to like step into video game territory, I think it's extremely unnecessary. I don't care who you are. But I mean, like apparently he's trying to talk to ESA, which I don't really hear a lot about that. I guess it's like a really, I guess one of those industries where it just like oversees a lot of things. I guess, but they're saying that they haven't gotten any confirmation that they're going to have a meeting with them yet, but. Like Trump is saying that he wants to meet with that industry to talk about gun violence and stuff like that. And here's the thing, like I'm totally fine with him like wanting to do that. I'm just wondering what he wants them to do about it.
Does he want like censorship or something? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is he like trying to?
Well, the thing is, like, there's already kind of censorship things in place, and there's only like so many things you can do. Like, I remember when by the time Gears of War 3 came out, because everybody's used to Gears of War like chainsawing people to death and all that. I remember when Gears of War 3 came out, and I was like 16, and I guess like it was like 17 or whatever for you to have rated M games or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had to like convince my mom. It's like, yeah, like there's a thing where you can like turn off like all the gore and all that, which it still shows you chainsawing people. It's just not as much.
I was like,
gore and
oh,
stuff.
nobody's gonna bleed when you chainsaw them. What kind of clean
But,
cut
like-
hair, face, shaven type of deal are you doing?
You're not going to be able to change much violence and stuff, so I don't know like what he plans on like having with this
Is
conversation.
he worried
really.
for his offspring?
Well, it's the whole idea that's been around for a while that, as opposed to movies and television, the fact that video games are interactive and the player is actually the one partaking in the violence themselves, that's why it's argued that it's worse.
Okay.
But
But
it's
they
weird.
made the same argument when movies first started coming
Yeah.
out in the 20s. So.
Yeah.
There have been plenty of times where I leave a movie theater and like, for example, like I saw plenty of children when going in to see Black Panther. I saw at least like 3 children be like, I'm Black Panther, yeah. It's like that's what kids do. Like after
Yeah.
they see a cool thing happen, it doesn't matter if it's like a video game, a movie, television series.
Exactly.
Like
You know how many kids I got in fights with because of Dragon Ball Z? None. Because I had a playground to express my emotions.
and it's just it's
Shut up, Alex. Go eat the lemon squares. Jeez.
We have lemon.
can he eat the lemon squares? I don't know if he can.
I mean, not in here.
Why wouldn't he be able to?
Just because of allergies and stuff like that.
He has an allergy
Can
to
you?
lemons?
You can't eat them, can you?
Yes, allergy to
crap.
dairy.
Just to
yeah.
dairy.
I was wondering why you gave it to us too. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh man, I demolished those red velvet cookies.
So, for context here, listeners,
We ate some food.
Alex brought
Let
in
him peek
some
behind the curtain again.
red velvet cupcakes and lemon squares for us to enjoy that he got from an event that Our Radio did, I think, just a couple days ago. Anyway, they were delicious.
I like how you just brought them to us now, and like how long ago were they sitting?
No, it was last night.
Oh, was it last night? Okay.
Man, you made it seem like it was like
only
a week
24
ago.
hours? Oh,
We
okay.
put the red velvet in the fridge.
Oh,
all day.
Yeah, I mean, it's cake. It'll last for at least a week.
I was gonna say, don't say it lasts forever. I was about to start singing some Keith Sweat on
I
you.
know, it's from an event last month. I mean, I guess it'd be like
Hey, in a pack,
like 2
I
days
have
ago.
a story to tell you in relevance to that. I mean, John won't remember, but I do. It's a really funny story.
We'll come back to that.
Well, yeah, we'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
But in regards to this whole story, like, I guess without me veering off into too much real world territory,
We're not politics.
I guess we're not we're not that interested into politics. I mean, we kind of are, just not on the show. But I mean, when it comes to that, it's just I get why like Trump wants to visit these kind of things. I think it's good to have to at least have the conversation. There's even a couple of things that he said recently that I agree with in a certain way. But when it comes to, his priorities, because I remember when the event first happened, like the first thing he pointed to was like, the culture with video games and stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, I get that that's a thing, but, as opposed to kids physically handling a gun and just actually playing it on a video game, I feel like those are two vastly different things, and if not two vastly different things, they are at least equally comparable if you're going to place blame somewhere. But I don't know. It's strange.
No, that's fair.
It's just kind of, it's shifting the blame. Like I said last week, it's taking an issue and trying to find a scapegoat to blame it on because they don't want to address certain issues, I think.
Hey, man, it's just like Sum 41 said, we're all to blame. Yeah.
True.
I brought in that band.
But that's all I have for gaming news.
I didn't know if you had more. I was actually like, all right.
This is more than I usually have.
All right, well, cool. That's a perfect time for us to take a small, brief interlude, and we will have some interesting random news that I found on television and stuff, because when is it not normal when I start talking about it? So we'll be back, so stay tuned, guys.
Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa.
No. It's Leviosa.
Not Leviosa. Well, with the swish and flick, stay tuned, young witches and wizards, for this is Our Radio, and we have
Mischief managed.
Why is it when something happens, it is always you three?
Sorry, Professor.
How about this one? I call it bold and brag. More like belongs in the trash.
And welcome back, guys. We are here. Oh man, that was about to get really. I was about to say something you said earlier, except without the. Yeah. Anyway, point is, that we are back. This is Panel by Panel on ksuradio.com/radiofx app. Only on Georgia's #1 online college radio station, streaming live from said website, ksuradio.com. And again, the Radio FX app, or you can always just check us out on the PvP podcast for those who are very much more interested in just listening to us ramble. Anyway, this is DJ Azio.
It's Mic Drop.
It's John Solo.
It's me. Jake. I don't know what my DJ name is.
Oh my god. Anyway, it's our former tech director, Jake Pledger, Johnny Appleseed.
And again,
Please not that.
Ron Swanson of the station.
I'll take that.
That website is www.pvppodcast.com. We are also on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and YouTube. You can check us out at all those places, so please do that thing.
Thank you, American NPR voice. Anyway, back to the more important and fun, sexy stuff, such as...
What, that wasn't fun and sexy?
No.
How about the BBC one instead?
No, don't do that! Stop it!
On pvppodcast.com.
I'm going to throw my phone at you.
Is it 50 Shades?
So, guys, I'm going to talk about some news right here.
Some 50 Shades news?
Close enough.
Shades of
It's
news.
actually about Frozen 2, so we're not too far from that.
Dang.
What is that face?
I like Frozen. I can admit it on the show. I like Frozen.
Awesome.
Sue me.
Well,
That was pretty
interestingly enough, the internet's been reacting because it's been announced that Elsa might be getting a girlfriend.
They've been saying that for like a year, so.
But this is now more
Be awesome.
confirmed and more obvious. So you know how they like to be. They like to mess with people, see how the lifespan of everybody is, and
Well, they broke through that wall that Disney's had for a while with the Beauty and the Beast remake.
Did they
so-
really though?
Well,
Because it
sort
was
of.
like,
They
ooh.
tried to.
oh, you talking about with Josh
With
Gad?
LeFou, yeah.
Man,
I mean,
they didn't do Jack.
they tried. They made an attempt. They
I
made
feel
an
like they're gonna
attempt.
do that more with the Mulan film. They're gonna be like, "Oh, Mulan's secretly gay," and I'm gonna be like, "Whoa, wait a
Well,
minute."
the general's going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
Why do you have to change character?
you're gonna see the Emperor at the end, like, this is intriguing. The developments of this. First of all, they would have killed her, so that's gonna mess with a lot of kids in that movie. There's a whole thing that's messed up about that. Not that I'm disregarding whatever your choices are. I'm disregarding the fact that there's certain stories don't change them.
Yeah.
Like, it would be just too weird to do that to some kids. But whatever, I guess people want to teach kids about.
Well,
Unite.
Well, I mean, who released that? Was it like somebody officially working on the project, or is it?
I
Just
think
like,
it was more like a leak. You
It's
know how
been
people are
a
with
thing
Disney.
that's been going around for a while. Like they did that. They had Frozen 2 for that, and they really wanted a Captain America Bucky Barnes relationship as well.
True.
And the reason I was pushing more for the Frozen 2 one is because Captain America is already an established character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Elsa is not. She's had one film, whereas Cap's been around for 50 years. So
I wonder where the story's going to go in terms of like what they're going to do next with that.
I don't
film,
know. I
'cause-
mean, they did a lot in terms of story development, surprisingly enough, in Once Upon a Time for season 4. It was kind of cool, and then they kind of just left it at that. They'll probably talk about Hans trying to get his revenge, the Duke of Whistleton, or Weaselton. Probably have another hit single of Idina Menzel singing something about how she let it go, or how the cold never bothered her anyway.
I swear, if they try to bring in like another fire princess or something, and they're like butting heads, and they end up becoming lovers at the end or
Look,
something
man,
like that.
I think at that point, that's where I'm gonna be like, "Yo, this is so close to Avatar."
Because just like I want it to be summer here all the time. Winter is never allowed, and that's going to be the plot.
If that's the plot, we've truly lost our story.
see, now I have a mental picture of like a fire princess and Elsa like duking it out, and it actually looks kind of cool.
That's
Like imagine, one of those. You know how in movies you always have the beams that hit. It's like the
Yeah.
fire beam hits the ice beam, and
Yeah.
that's what I got.
It's kind of like how when Kim Possible fought against Shigo.
Exactly.
That was a good. That was a
Exactly
cool
like
scene.
that, yeah.
I like how everybody was like, "Yeah, just yeah."
Sure, Ezio, sure.
Look, man, it was a good time. It was a good time. But yeah, so if you guys, of course, have not noticed, which obviously we all did, Marvel has decided to push Infinity War a week ahead, which I actually do love. I thought it was a joke for a second, especially because they're like worldwide. I was like, wait a minute, are you talking about like UK? No, they're like, no, I mean like everyone's gonna get it on the 27th, and I'm like, Robert Downey Jr., which actually now worries me a little bit more because like with all this press control power that he has, I'm like, oh, he might die.
Well, I doubt it was.
That's what's scaring me. It's like they're like, well, think about it. It's like we've talked about it before, and they've talked about it like numerous times. Is that RDJ did start the Marvel universe? He was literally the first introduction to everything that happened up until now, and then now we're looking at it going, with Infinity War, he might die. Like,
Yeah.
Of course he's going to be in Infinity, well, the untitled sequel.
Well, pretty much everybody's contracts are wrapping up with Infinity War. We don't know what's going to happen.
we already have Chris Hemsworth saying, after the fourth Avengers movie, like, I'm done. And it's like, oh, man.
And he already wrapped filming, actually, about a month ago, so he's just chilling. Same with Nebula. I don't think she's done, of course. Karen Gillan hasn't said anything about her contract being finito, but regardless, it's insane that like a lot of our favorite people we've grown to love and watched are now about to be like, our contracts are over with. And it's
I have to jump in. This is Alex Turner, by the way, current tech director.
Tech director.
I don't really have a DJ name either, but so I have to go off what you're saying because I really think they're gonna kill off Iron Man for it, because they just had, I watched Thor Ragnarok, and they had like the extra hour-and-a-half content, like you can buy the whole 3.5 hour thing. They made it a big point in that to talk about like a like a 5-minute blurb on how important he is in the whole universe, and like how amazing he was, and like mostly like the character part to it. So it would make a lot of sense if they were trying to push that to make us be like, oh yeah, we really do love Iron Man, and then end up killing him off. So,
yeah.
My 2 cents. Just saying.
You know, of course, like there's a whole multiverse thing with Doctor Strange, so we don't know if they're gonna like eventually enter in like another multiverse or whatever, and then like that's the excuse.
Well, we do know that
it's a different actor. It's because of different multiverse.
I mean, we do know that the multiverse will come to exist due to it'll be mainly because of like, you know, we're going to see the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Obviously Deadpool, even though he's so against it, which
well,
is
Deadpool doesn't even need an explanation. Like,
he doesn't.
When
He'll
gets
just
his
pop up.
When he gets his other movie under Marvel, he's just going to be like, I've just been here. Like, it's fine.
Yep. It's like, I can't believe they finally added me and gave me a movie contract. It's almost as if they knew I was here already. And I'm like, I could see Deadpool saying something like that. But also in regards to that, it's interesting. So that Marvel's next film that they had planned out, that was set for August 7th, 2020, actually bumped up a week now as well to July 31st. So I don't know what's going on right now at the Marvel Studios, but they're bumping up a lot of stuff.
I bet I know what's going on.
What?
So we talked about how Solo comes out in May, right?
Yeah.
So Solo comes out in May, and I think part of the reason they pushed up Avengers is because they're worried about competing with Solo, right? Because Avengers would be beginning of the month, Solo would be right at the end of the month.
Sure.
And I bet you that they have something planned for 2020 after Episode 9 is done with, because that's 2019.
Yeah.
And they still have the Kenobi movie supposedly in the works, and Rian Johnson's new trilogy, and now another new trilogy on top of that. So I bet you they have something, if not Star Wars, then Pirates or something. They have something planned for 2020 that I bet you they pushed it back for.
Yeah,
that's my
true.
theory.
I mean, the fact that the Game of Thrones creators are hedge funding. I don't know why I said that.
Pyramid scheme, Star
I know,
Wars.
right?
Yeah.
But they are going to be like, they're running their own little trilogy series.
Still hoping.
By
for
the
Late
way,
Republic.
there are, just to remind people, there are Prelude comics if you guys want to read them and stuff before watching Infinity War. I know the Prelude comic #1 went
Doctor
more.
Strange had it.
Yeah, more into it went more into like T'Challa and how they helped fix Bucky Barnes or whatever. This time in the Prelude #2 comic issue that came out this week, it was with Doctor Strange, and it was just him having a conversation and all that about, you know, what the different universes were like or whatever, and they talked about the importance of the Infinity Stones. It was just like a recap. It was really just a recap of where all the stones were in the past few films and all that. And they're still discussing, okay, well, where's the Soul Stone? Which they don't answer. So, I mean, it was kind of important, but not really.
I feel like it's going to come up in the film. Like, they're just going to say Thanos found it.
People thought the Soul Stone was going to be in Black Panther because, like, the Soul Stone kind of, like, you know, literally
like the
reconnects the souls
energy.
and all that. So
Yeah.
people thought the whole reason why Black Panther would be able to visit his ancestors would be through the stone. Not really. So, I mean, that'll be an interesting kind of thing to figure out where that is. But, I mean, the issues are kind of important, but not really. Like, you can probably still go and see the movie and be fine with it. But, you know, if you're trying to buy the time, it's good.
But overall, I know we got, of course, the Punisher Season 2 has been confirmed with new characters and cast, obviously. So they cast Supergirl alum Floriana Lima, who will be playing Krista Dumont, a smart, compassionate, and driven psychotherapist for military vets, which will be kind of interesting.
Well, who does she play in Supergirl?
I don't know. I really don't know. At least I don't recall. Floriana Lima. I
don't know if she's just some random, like,
she ain't
extra
no rando. Is she? I think she was she's Maggie Sawyer.
Oh, she was Maggie. Okay.
That's why she left.
Yeah, she got a better contract. She's like, nah, fam, I'm done. I'm out.
That makes sense.
That made so much sense. We also have Josh Stewart, who has been cast as John Pilgrim, described as a man whose calm exterior belies a ruthless interior. Despite having left behind a life of violence, circumstances will force him to use his old skills and bring him into Frank Castle's world. I like how that, you know, after the first season, a lot of people did have a lot of questions. Like, they were like, it's great, but like, was it all necessary? Like, it was so violent. Like, I think that was the biggest response. Was everyone was, it was so violent, it was so brutal, and like all this torture and I was like, you guys know that this really does happen to some people in real life, right? Like, it's not them just making up characters, but whatever. Georgia Wingham has been blocked to play Amy Bendix, a street smart grifter with a mysterious past. I like how they said that they'll all have remarkable talents for the second season. And I think it's going to be an interesting step forward in terms of Castle finally embracing the fact that he has to be the Punisher. Especially, I don't know. What episode did you stop at, John Solo?
I stopped right after he tried to assassinate the what's his name? I don't remember what they were calling him. The bald guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he assassinated him and hit the bulletproof window.
Mhm.
That's when I stopped. It was like episode 6 or 7, I think.
Okay.
I have yet to catch up. As usual with the Marvel shows, I will catch up before the next one comes out because I have a week before JJ. So
yeah,
that's been my MO.
You have 7 days.
Yeah.
As March 8th is that particular day. But yeah, that's what's going on. Also, in regards to that, they did say for season 2, they said Ben Barnes is ready to return as the villain, and I think it's really interesting after having everything that you have made your foundations on in terms of the way that you come across to the world, his looks, the business he built, that's literally been shattered. We'll literally see it on his face, and so I think that's a great opportunity to explore what that does to his mind and what it is that he even remembers. I have no idea what kind of parameters are going to give me to toy with, but I've got certainly lots of ideas about how he could be. But Jigsaw, who is known for being the nemesis to Punisher, is like, he's literally like how Frank is, except just now messed up to the max. Like he's twisted, he's manipulative, and he's always trying to get in. Like he's like an arms dealer, like realistically. But like everything he did is just now contextual to who he is as a character.
It's just weird that like in Daredevil season 2, like you used to think like Frank Castle was just insane, but then like once you actually got to his own series, like he was pretty level-headed for the most part.
And that's the sad part, is because like semi-real moment is that's how most people look at a lot of veterans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, they've seen some stuff, man. Gotta have respect that like there's some things you just can't like they can't talk about. But overall, let's move on to some more, nice timey-wimey times, some great 80s feel-good stuff.
Yeah, so apparently Ernest Cline is writing a sequel to Ready Player One, which I don't understand because
you talk about this. You literally talked about this 3 times now.
I know, but you bounce it back to me, so I still don't understand how it's going to be a thing because he wrapped up the story fine with the book Ready Player One.
Just let him do what he wants, John.
I'll just let him do what he wants, man.
It's his novel. Let him do.
Well, see, you say that, but his other novel Armada was only okay. So
he's so petty.
I'm not. I'm just being honest.
I mean, no.
Ready Player One is one of my favorite books.
We all have one thing we're all petty about. Mine is obviously Kingdom Hearts. I always get petty about it consistently. You is apparently Ready Player One.
No,
Mike
I'm
is
petty about
every
the movie of Ready Player
other
One.
thing related to No Man's Sky.
Oh my god.
As well.
What about you? You haven't chimed in for a bit. Do you have a?
I feel like he had something to say, but he's just
what, a game that I get really petty
Or just
about?
anything,
anything,
that you get
like-
like any fandom thing you get petty about.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah. I like the lore. I don't like the movies, and I don't like. I like the games. I'm just not a huge fan of the movies. I've seen, I saw the classic ones. I saw 2 of the prequels. I have not seen a single one, and I don't think I've rewatched any of them. Like if it's on, I'll watch it, but at the same time, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Did you watch it at all when you were younger? Because that's sort of how it has to be with Star Wars. If you got into it when you were a kid,
No, I
you
got
sort
into
of
the
follow
games.
it. The game,
when
yeah,
I was a kid.
yeah.
But not the movies. No.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, hey man,
I
I'm still hoping
understand
for that Old Republic
Yeah.
film trilogy, so it's still a possibility.
Hopefully that'll work for you.
I've never seen.
But I don't know if that answers your question. I don't. It's just I don't really like them. Is that what you were talking about?
No, I mean, like it could.
Yeah,
It's like you said, it could have been anything. Like there was no direct prerogative for that.
I don't get up in arms about it. I just don't care.
Well, it's the movie itself that I'm still petty about because I get frustrated with film adaptations that aren't anything like the book, and I've hammered this again and again on the show, so I won't get into it again. But
Some people, you know how people feel about Harry Potter still.
Well, see, Harry Potter actually did it fairly well.
Are there some people that are
Mass
like
Effect
really?
There actually were. There were a few people.
I
I
rarely
love
hear
the
about
Mass
anybody
Effect.
that's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Mass Effect games, and Andromeda was an abomination.
I still
Oh,
have not
yeah.
finished Andromeda.
Um,
I got about halfway, and I haven't picked it up since.
Wow.
And that's you, the huge Mass Effect fan.
I know, right? Him being the one Mass
I love
Effect
Mass
person to the
Effect.
max.
I was going through my Facebook post not too long ago, and it was like, just picked up Mass Effect, can't wait to play it. And then it was like 12 hours later, just beat Mass Effect. It's a great game, and that game is 12 hours.
Wow.
So
I
I played it straight through. Like I loved it. I absolutely love Mass Effect.
No, that's good. That meant you were on the
fantastic.
right path. Other 80s news that we can feel good about ourselves. I'm just kidding. This is a sci-fi that it was mad dark in last season. But season 3 of Stranger Things.
Oh, that's what you were going for with the 80s show.
I mean, it worked out both ways, so it didn't matter.
I was like, does John have it up on his computer too? Like, I don't know. Like,
well, you said that and you looked at me, so I just assumed it was a Ready Player One.
Hey, no
thing.
spoilers. I'm still in season 1.
It's okay. I haven't watched 2 yet.
Wait. Let me stop you right there. I'm sorry, Jake. What?
I'm still in season 1. I don't watch TV. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But it's Netflix.
Thank you.
It's a separate thing.
No, it doesn't matter. I go home. I get home.
It's
I
not
go to
just
sleep. I wake up.
TV.
I go to work.
John Pledger.
I have precious few hours on my off days to do things I enjoy.
And I choose to play them playing video games.
You're still on season 1, and you don't want me to talk about Stranger Things.
I mean, I can go and eat the rest of my Pop-Tart and drink my drink if I need to.
You know what, Jake?
I can leave.
So the
best I can
cast, as I will just mention, it has no spoiler effect on this. Maya Thurman Hawk will play.
Oh, now I know Maya Thurman Hawk's in it. Thanks.
Oh my god.
Do you even know who that is?
No, I don't.
Will be playing an alternative girl bored with her mundane day job. She seeks excitement in her life and gets more than she bargained for when she uncovers a dark secret in Hawkins. And then, of course, we will see the return of Lucas's younger sister. She's actually been updated to a series regular.
Nice.
Which, obviously, this can't be good because it means she's going to be like the rest of the kids.
Probably.
And, I mean, I think I like the biggest thing I like most about what's about to come is that I'm glad they took this time off because the kids, they were like, yeah, they can't be in middle school forever. And I was like, yeah, obviously. Like, I think the last time we saw them, they were just hitting 8th grade, period.
I can't even imagine them in high school. Like, it's so
I mean,
weird.
but the thing is that they're all, like, older than that, though.
That's true.
Like, the oldest member, I think, actually is Luke, the guy, the kid who plays Lucas. He's 16 now.
Is he really?
Yeah. Wow. So he was, like, kind of portraying, like, a 13-year-old, and it's like, yeah, there's not much of a stretch anyway. Some people look like they're still 13 when they're 16. It's like, it's when you're 17 when you have an unusual, weird summer that you just metamorph into this creature that is nothing at all like how you were when you were 16.
Like the Kid Rock song.
Exactly.
I hit puberty at like 12, man. What are you talking about?
I've had the beard ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake's beard. Jake's a whole...
17, that's almost an adult.
What? Anyway, so I like how they do talk about that Ross Duffer, one of the Duffer brothers, was mentioning how we were thinking it will be a 4-season thing then out, but they said that we just keep adjusting the story, though I don't know if we can justify something bad happening to them once a year. And it's like, it's true, after 3 straight
there's
years.
a lot. You'd think after a while that Hawkins, Indiana would run out of weird stuff.
Yeah, and I like how they said they're going to have to get the bleep out this town. It's ridiculous. So, but they did say expect a time jump, though. Instead of moving from seasons 2, like 1983 to 1984, this will be in 1985. And they said that we can only write and produce the show so fast. They're going to be almost a year older by the time we start shooting season 3. Provide certain challenges. You can start right after season 2 ended. It forces you to do a time jump. But what I like is that it makes you evolve the show. It forces the show to evolve and change because the kids are changing, which does work.
And I like those effects in terms of like writing and stuff like that. I don't like too many stories that pick up right where things left off. I like the natural progression of things.
And I like how they mentioned that production would roughly begin around April of this year. So by summer, roughly 2019, we should be getting that following season, which is perfect because... I follow most of the kids on Instagram, and I'm like, wow, they really are growing up very fast. This is scary. Like, they're, like, right there. Like, it does, like, Millie Bobby Brown is already, I think she's 15. She'll be 16 by the time this show is, like, finished. Or I think she turns 16 soon, actually, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, this is about to get, like...
I said no spoilers. Now I know they grow up.
You know what, Jacob?
You are 16, going on 17.
Anyway.
Millie, it's time
Sorry.
to think.
Speaking of time jumps and stuff, Archer Season 9, its release date is finally...
It's still going?
Yeah, it has one more season, actually, and then it'll end.
I wish they'd
they'd
hurry up and put out more Bob's Burgers instead, because they've been on hiatus for like
still
2
going?
months.
Yeah, Bob's Burgers is on its 8th
thought it was
season,
canceled
if I recall.
years ago.
It's its 8th season? Wow,
I think it's on its 8th season.
I don't know why I
far
thought
in,
it was
yeah.
a relatively new thing, but I guess
No,
it's been a
Bob's
while for a
Burgers
while.
been I mean, you know how the way they crank out shows sometimes a little fast.
But they've been off for like half a year now.
Yeah.
They had like one episode on Valentine's Day, or around then.
I remember the Valentine's Day episode. I saw that one. I was like, what?
But anyway.
I know what happened. H-Town Benjamin's nose cleared up, and they had to wait until he got a stuffy nose again before he could do Bob's Burgers. Voices correctly.
That's probably true.
Meanwhile, Rick and Morty takes like 2 years to like get their other seasons.
Look, that's
going.
different. That's Dan Harmon just being a douche.
They have to make sure they have the maximum amount of cynicism built up
Exactly,
first.
and that's all of Dan Harmon being just so cynical to as much power and max. I mean, he did the same with Community too. This is what was one of the big problems. But with Archer, though, this new one is called Danger Island because it takes place with them being on a tropical island, apparently now living in the lush South Pacific island of Mitumoru in 1939, which is weird considering that you never know what the timeline is for Archer. So it's like, are they in 1939? It's like, I guess they are. And I like how they described Archer's current status in this one as the semi-functioning alcoholic seaplane pilot. So, yeah, they said the full synopsis for this season is while the rest of the world is concerned about the impending Second World War, Archer is only concerned about who's buying his next drink. Along with his trusty co-pilot, Pam, oh god, Sterling must navigate quicksand, cannibals, super intelligent monkeys, poison darts, pirates, and did we mention quicksand? Welcome to the mysterious and deadly world of Archer. Danger Island.
Quicksand is always like only on TV.
I know, right?
You don't experience it in real life ever.
Have you not been near quicksand before?
No, I mean like yeah. You know what? I forgot. You know, I was walking on campus and I was just like, oh damn it, freaking quicksand.
You know, on the subject of sand, Neil Gaiman has announced that they're doing a new
Sandman.
run of Sandman.
Yeah. That's. I thought they were going to make it into a TV series, especially because Warner Brothers chickened out and decided, nah, we're not going to make this into a TV or a movie or any of that. And I was like, all right, fine. I see you, fam. You could have pitched it to anybody.
Hey, man.
Stars.
At least they're still making comics.
Not Oxygen, because that's not the right network.
As long as Neil Gaiman is writing things, the world is a slightly better place as far as I'm concerned. So
this is true. Also, and then the last final news for that Archer one was that it comes out April 25th at 10 p.m. So if you're an Archer fan, which I think there was like maybe 3 other people who were once a part of the station that were really Archer
I thought you were going to say
fans.
there are 3 other people in the world.
No.
Both are accurate.
True. Karate Kid TV sequel Cobra Kai has a new trailer, so if you wish to go and check that out.
Do we need that?
I mean, apparently they do.
Wait,
And-
which sequel to which Karate Kid?
I mean, it's just the sequel, the first one. Like, it's basically taking place with the after the very first one, where you're going to see Sensei Johnny, quote unquote, who, you know, the kid who fought against the Karate Kid, which was played by Ralph Macchio. It's going to be more like about him, his perception and story, like picking up many years later.
I meant based on the 80s Karate Kid or the Jaden Smith Karate Kid. That's what I was curious about.
Oh, I didn't even credit that one. You know, it's funny. Every time somebody mentions Karate Kid, I always just think Ralph Macchio. I literally have forgotten that the Jaden Smith film
Really?
came out.
I don't know why I always think about the Jane Smith one for some reason.
Probably
Like,
because of all the gifts
It
that
wasn't
came with it.
great, but I mean, it was
wasn't
kind of
terrible.
serviceable.
It was better than After Earth.
I mean, it was kind of
Everything
weird.
is better than After Earth, John.
Yeah.
Have you seen that film? Exactly. Go watch the CinemaSins. That'll give you enough of the detail. Go watch the Honest trailers, as a matter of fact.
I saw it on
That
vacation.
did
It was
Yeah,
okay.
the Honest
Shut up,
Trailers was
John.
more savage than like all the other ones because like he was
Exactly.
going off. He was just like, aren't they eagles? Why are they freaking doing this?
Oh god,
It's
just
weird.
That's how I've learned to watch movies nowadays. It's just like I think they did Blade Runner recently, and I was like, oh no, I still haven't watched Blade Runner. I should probably go watch
Yeah.
that first. But they did do Ex Machina, which was actually kind of funny. I haven't seen all of it. I need to go back and rewatch it. But in other fun little things that I know Mike, Drop, and I love to laugh about, Constantine is getting an animated release finally for his new show. The CWC is finally putting his show out, which has been in the works for a good while. He's been doing a lot of the voice work for it, and if I recall, it should be coming out March 24th. All right, so right around the corner, which is perfect because he's also due to make an appearance for the season finale of Legends of Tomorrow, which they just finished filming, as a matter of fact, according to Kean Lansdale's Instagram.
Nice.
A.K.A. Wally West. Also, I'm looking forward to that because, like, Wally West joining Legends, the way that they brought him in was very much in an interesting way because they used Rip Hunter, and it's just ridiculous. Like, of all the people they had to use, they took Rip Hunter, a.k.a. Rory from Doctor Who.
Well, Rip Hunter, like, they had to do something with him because, like, at the end of the last season, he's just like, well, Sarah's kind of taken over and my role is kind of pointless now, so I'm just going to venture off and create my own thing.
I mean, yeah. He was always, like, well, it's like you said, he was always a loner. Which is funny because they made a joke about that, too. They're like, imagine if Constantine and Rip were in the same ship and they happen to be both two British dudes wearing brown coats. And I was like, I know, right? It's just like they're one step away from each other. One just does magic, the other one's more time travel. It's not at all too far.
Yeah.
There's a TV series that is coming out called The Umbrella Academy. I feel like I talked about this before. It's, of course, coming to Netflix. And it's based off of the comic book series from Dark Horse. And basically it follows the estranged members of a dysfunctional family of superheroes. So the Monocle, Space Boy, the Kraken, the Rumors, the Seance, Number 5, wow, the Horror, and the seemingly powerless Vanya as they work together to solve their father's mysterious death while coming apart at the seams due to their divergent personalities and abilities.
Oh,
so this will be interesting, especially because
it's like Supernatural Breakfast Club,
in a sense. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. So I guess at the Umbrella Academy, they're going to be focusing in on that a little bit. I also, in case you needed to know, March 30th, we will see the return of a series of unfortunate events. It will be making its grand return, especially because by season 3 they're going to be long gone. But I think at this moment, Jake Pledger, or it's Alex. Alex, are you leaving us?
I'm leaving.
Oh, okay. Bye, Alex.
Bye, panel.
Oh, there he
Goodbye.
goes. Leaving us again.
Oh, as always.
There he goes again.
Sixpence none the richer, everyone.
All right. Surprised that I remember that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that in terms of everything. Now, Mike, Drop, and I obviously saw this because we really want to talk about it. So the season 2 premiere of FX series Atlanta debuted yesterday.
I have not seen. I'm seeing it tonight. Actually,
You just got
crap!
like the guiltiest look
I
on
know.
your face. That was
You
great.
have cable too. Like I thought you would have beaten me to the punch.
we finally kicked Comcast to the curb and we have
Dang.
YouTube TV.
Hey,
There you go.
Not- I'm sorry to like blast Comcast over the air, but I mean, like, it's
That's right,
whatever.
Mike. Stick it to the man.
Blast-
Go to Google, the
Dude,
Indie
blast
Studio.
Comcast. Blast Comcast all you want because they're
They're
like,
the ones that-
leading voice
that's true.
in the net neutrality debacle that we
We
have.
just got burned.
AT&T, AT&T's made fast lanes already.
Yep.
They're already charging people for more. But the thing is, this isn't uncommon in other countries. Because when I went to Germany, I bought a SIM card, and it was like, oh, you get free internet if you use this specific app.
Oh
Doesn't mean it
no!
doesn't suck,
it doesn't
though.
count to your data. So like they don't have net neutrality.
Jeez.
Asian countries don't have net neutrality. We were like the last holdout.
Nope, Canada still has it.
Canada still has it?
Yeah, Canada still
but
has
they
it.
don't have free speech, so.
YouTube
Wow.
TV
Take
does
that,
have
Canada.
FX though, so
Cold.
I will be watching it later. But
Nice.
Oh man, they said that the Weinstein Company sale happened after all. Oh god, let's
What
find
happened?
out. So the
Who'd he grope
Weinstein
this
Company
time?
board reached a deal to sell the studio for $500 million to private investors after initially announcing bankruptcy. What? The reports of the Weinstein Company's bankruptcy, as relayed by TWC itself, were greatly exaggerated. Was it really a Chapter 11 or a bargaining maneuver? We may not know fully for some time, but news broke late Thursday evening that the Weinstein Company will be sold after all to an investment group led by Maria Contreras Sweet Further, the $500 million deal that will give the Contreras Suite Group a majority stake in the TWC is supposed to save about 150 jobs, as well as potential restitutions for victims of Harvey Weinstein's predation. So, something had to happen after he left.
He got off not too bad. How much did he make? $500 million?
They sold it for $500 mil.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
In slightly happier news, the company that's not going bankrupt anytime soon, as far as we know, we have two interesting.
I thought you were about to leave with Dice for a second. I was like,
no, Dice is
one company that's definitely not going out of business. THQ just released.
No,
Damn.
I have a couple interesting little Elder Scrolls stories to talk about here to wrap up the show that we didn't get to during the video game stuff. Unless you guys have anything else you want to mention.
Wrap up the show. There's always a little few things.
Oh, right. We started at 8:30. Never mind.
we did. I mean, we can leave early if we want to.
Here.
I mean, yeah.
Never mind. We started at 8:30, so we can keep going. But so I'll just go ahead and talk about these then. There's a whole team of modders right now, and this has been in the news for a little bit, but they recently did an interview with Games Radar. They are the mod team behind Sky Oblivion, which is a Skyrim mod that's going to recreate the entirety of Oblivion in Skyrim's engine for the PC. They're going to take basically everything from Oblivion and update it, refine it, kind of put in Skyrim's sort of leveling system as far as I can understand, and some of the technical things that Skyrim improved upon over Oblivion. They're going to put all that in, and it's going to be pretty great. Jake and I were just looking at it.
Yeah, I was actually looking at screenshots and reading some of the of the article, and that's amazing. And this kind of mod community that does amazing things like this is why a mod community in general and the developer supporting the mod community is so important to the longevity of your game.
Yep.
I mean, these people did it for what I'm assuming is free.
Yeah.
Because you don't get paid for mods. So this group of people just did this in their free time.
Because they loved it.
Yeah, and if Bethesda is smart, which they aren't, but if they were smart, they would take this, they would pay the people a lump sum, like here's, $200,000, which is vastly less than it would have made, it would have cost to do this.
Yeah.
And it's, support your mod community.
Well, they're trying to do that with Creation Club. Not very well, but they're trying to establish a working relationship, and they've been doing this for a while with the modding community of Skyrim and Fallout 4, where they work with modders, they work with professional modders, and then sell it basically like they would sell DLC. But it hasn't really taken off that well. Because a lot of the stuff that you can get on there is inferior to the mods you can just download for free.
Yep.
So no one's particularly interested. But they've made some efforts in that department.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because what you're essentially doing is crowdsourcing your development team.
Basically. Yeah.
For free. And then they come up with a product and you go, I'll either pay for this or I'll ignore it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see that. I definitely can see that.
But I'm super excited because as much as I love Skyrim, Oblivion, it's widely considered sort of the pinnacle of the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Like, Skyrim is one of my favorite games ever made.
Oblivion
as
was just
but it's sort of
something special.
It was. Maybe because it came out in like 2007, around the time when all those great games were coming out.
Yeah, I was in high school, and I remember going over to a friend of mine that was playing it, and I was literally blown away at how great it looked.
Yep.
And how I was so excited to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, it was like 2006, 2007, because I remember I was still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But no, there was something special about Oblivion. I don't know what it is.
It's just I had to take that moment of silence to appreciate the wonder that is the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
We were all contemplating.
I was contemplating something.
I was just like, I think someone's gonna chime in with news. Oh no, we're not.
I mean, I was gonna chime in.
Well,
I just thought he had more to say.
There's one other little Elder Scrolls.
Me and John were having a genuine moment just there. Okay,
we were bonding.
Okay.
There's one other little Elder Scrolls story. I did say I have two. There's a rumor going around now, also pulling this from Games Radar, that Morrowind might have already told us what the plot for Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be. Now, granted, Bethesda has confirmed that they have 2 games coming out before Elder Scrolls 6 is even thought about. But basically, there's a line of dialogue from a character in Morrowind, the Elder Scrolls 3, talking about the Akaviri, who are responsible for a lot of the backstory of the continent of Tamriel, establishing the blades, helping create the Empire, and all that. The theory going around now is that the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to take place in Akavir as opposed to in Tamriel. I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing or not, but the dialogue, and I'm trying to read it for you because the screenshot's really blurry, but it basically says, I've heard rumors that Akaviri is making preparations to invade us again. They are apparently waiting for the Empire to collapse in civil war, which obviously is the plot of Skyrim. The Empire is literally locked in a civil war. Mm-hmm. So it's just an interesting little tidbit that somebody discovered fairly recently.
Is that where the Argonians are from?
No, the Argonians are from...
Shattered Isle?
They are from... Not Leyawiin, because that's a province in Cyrodiil. They are from... I'll get back to you on that one. Black Marsh. Black Marsh is where the Argonians are from. Yeah. Nice. No, Akavir is totally different. They're sort of a whole separate entity from the
is that where the Thalmor are from?
Thalmor are Somerset Isle.
Oh.
But the Akavir sort of had a hand in establishing a lot of the societies of Tamriel, and specifically the Empire. So, yeah.
All I know is I kill every Thalmor I see.
Same.
Wow.
I get them mad at me by telling them I still like to worship Talos, and then they come after me, and it's great.
Right here, John. Right.
These two literally just fist bumped each other over there.
Dude, I told you, I was playing Skyrim before I left home. I am totally okay with the fact that they released Skyrim for like the 4th time. Because I can have mods on my Xbox One now, and it's great.
Wow.
Skyrim is the 3rd most played game in my Steam library, and I haven't played it for 2 years. Still.
Yep.
That's actually impressive.
200 and I think I have like 250 hours.
Yeah, my first character in Skyrim had 300, and then I have an alternate that had like 100 or something. And I'm rapidly getting to that point again in the updated version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a mod that I liked that was called, the name escapes me, but it was a survival mod.
Frostfall?
Frostfall.
Yeah.
That was it.
I've been playing with that.
I put like an extra 70 or 80 hours into it just because of that, because of how great that mod is.
I'm playing...
It adds so much to the game.
It does.
It makes it so much more fun.
That's actually something they tried to do with Creation Club, is they put in an official survival mode for Skyrim, which basically took Frostfall and the ideas of some of the other mods that make you have to eat, like I Need and that sort of thing, and put them together. But again, it just wasn't quite as good as what the free mods delivered.
They're going to literally run out the clock.
I've been playing a traveling bard with both Frostfall and I Need, and you're right, it adds so much to the game when you actually have to think about how you dress and what you're going to eat.
You got to prepare for a journey, because you can't fast travel except by the carts.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's 2 minutes till.
No, we're going till 10:30. We started at 8:30.
Well, I mean, like, we can go to
recording,
10:30, but we'll see.
It will stop in the next.
I thought you manually started it at 8:30.
It started at 8. I pre-programmed it.
Uh-oh.
Well,
good thing you got a tech director with you.
Do you even know how to work this one still?
Absolutely not.
I'm sorry. I thought we still had another half an hour.
No, that's what I was trying to do earlier. That's why I was shifting everything.
Why did you guys give me crap then when I said to wrap up the show?
Because it was funny.
Oh, that's true.
Wow.
Whatever, man.
Just because it throws.
Just because it's me.
I wouldn't have spent so much time talking about Skyrim if I knew we were on a timer.
Same.
Yeah.
We can talk about this after the show.
I mean, this is true, but either way, you have been listening to Panel by Panel only on Georgia's #1 online college radio station, KSURadio.com. And you could always find us on the Radio FX app or pbppodcast.com. This is DJ EZO.
It's Mic Drop.
John Solo.
It's Jake.
And we will make our departure here. So see you next week.
Stay shiny.
Goodbye.
Stay tuned in with Owl Radio, Georgia's #1 online college radio station. Streaming live at ksuradio.com.